Still looking at me.
Hey yo, what's up ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing? Welcome back to another reaction. Money here at your service. I'm good. Just another day at the office. Quite of a shit show, but it is just a freaking mess. But I maintain my cool and stick to my ground and just pray that the day will go fast, which it did. It's just that not a good way to be back working after the holidays, but no surprise there. But no, I haven't seen Thor, Love and Thunder, not yet, but I am going to be planning this weekend, so I think it's likely it's going to be tomorrow, so hopefully that this will brighten me up. Now, don't get me wrong, I am looking forward to see that movie. It's just that I will be frank with you guys. I'm just maybe just a tiny little bit concerned about Gorr, and that maybe I'm starting to get the little understand the concept that's from Tony Stark in the Spider-Man Homecoming, that you're in the gray area, in the matter of speaking. Now, for me, Gorr is, without a question, one of the most disturbing, deranged, and unhinged of a villain character in Thor history. And I'll never forget the first issue of Thor, the God of Thunder, which that was from the Marvel Now imprint, and that the first storyline by Jason Aaron, and give this kind of a feel of a horror theme in the mix of it, and gives such a bone chilling in that there's someone out there in the cosmos slaying gods one by one, just hack and slash, and just bodies are just piling up. It's just crazy, and it's just that disturbing, and yet it's so great. And that this is give the definition of what Gorr and the meaning of the God Butcher, and you start to understand what motivates him and why he's been like that. It's just really sad to you know what he's going through with his family, and why that he detests or has a grudge against all gods, and it makes you wonder what makes him tick. So, and I get it, it's just a live movie adaptation, so I get that. So there will be some parts that things will be a little different than what we all know in the comics. So for those who are not familiar about Gorr's origin, well, let's just say that there is a video that is from Mojo TV, and I thought maybe this will be a good, a good time that wanted to give a little bit of the 411 about him. So this is what is known as Supervillain Origins, Gorr, the God Butcher. And that's just blowing your mind, didn't it? But let's begin.
That's when I came across a path of death and destruction, which led me all the way here into this cage, where I met you.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're exploring the origins of the supervillain, Gorr the God Butcher.
And then they multiplied further, spreading out amongst these new hosts, empowering them.
Before he makes his live-action debut in Thor, Love and Thunder, we'll look at how one becomes a slayer of gods. Is there a villain you'd like to see menace the MCU? Let us know in the comments below. This was made in collaboration with CoverPrice.com, the ultimate online resource for comic collectors. Want to know what comics are trending or what your collection's worth? Check below for the link and visit them today. Do you love Venom, but he's not nihilistic or violent enough for you?
Leave him be! I shall remove your head!
No, you won't. It has its moments.
Use it for bowling!
You're in luck. We present to you Gorr the God Butcher. While natural disasters were unfortunately common on his rough planet, basic resources like food and drink were scarce. In this hopeless environment, Gorr served as the provider for his family, and one thing that kept him going was his wife's assurance that their gods would hear their prayers and deliver salvation. Sadly, no divine beings ever came to their aid.
For my days are ended. and my prayer unanswered.
What prayer, old man?
Over time, Gorr loses every single member of his family to either starvation, illness, or the harsh elements. Enraged, Gorr takes this as proof that the gods his family prayed to are not real. He was quickly exiled for his sacrilegious views, and just when it seemed Gorr would expire alone, a chance encounter changed everything. While struggling alone, he witnessed a powerful deity fighting the dark godlike being Null.
He was known as many things. The King in Black, Lord of the Abyss, the Void.
Not
His
related to
real
the
name
Century.
Was Null.
If this name doesn't sound familiar, one of his creations might. He was responsible for symbiotes like Venom.
Yep.
Before introducing a bunch of those aliens to the galaxy, Null created a powerful symbiotic weapon known as the All Black.
So from his own shadow, Null created 4 perfect
And for the record,
weapons.
this is the first time I ever see this kind of animation. It looks pretty dope though.
They were life forms.
The variable symbiote can turn into items like swords and armor while granting its user great power. Null quickly showed how effective the weapon was by defeating one of the Celestials that brought light to his dark realm. Ironically, the deceased head of Null's enemy eventually became a lively
No
planet known
way.
as Nowhere.
What is it?
It's called Nowhere.
You know what?
Severed
I
head of
forgot
ancient
about that.
celestial.
That was actually
While
that
the
it
Dark
did
God
happen. That's part of
continued
the
his war
history.
Against other deities, he crashed on Gorr's home planet and was seriously injured while battling a rival god of light. Seeing Null and his enemy proved to be eye-opening for the alien who suffered so much. Gorr saw that godlike powers had existed throughout his life, but neglected his and his family's prayers. He was so enraged that when the Light Warrior asked for help, he seized the opportunity to steal the All Black from Null.
An explorer from another world had found them and accepted them.
Now bonded with a weapon of living darkness, Gorr formed a dagger from the symbiote and assassinated the God of Light. He immediately flew off his planet with the help of the All Black. Long after Gorr first takes flight, a young and cocky Thor is celebrating a victory over ice giants on Earth.
Keep in mind, when Thor was young, he was brash, cocky, and still young.
Next.
Suddenly, the remains of a god are discovered nearby. Thor initially dismisses the villagers' concerns and assures them no force could be a match for him. But that turned out to be a bit of an arrogant statement.
Pretty much.
At least make it a challenge for me.
In 893 AD, the youthful Thor and some Vikings went out to battle a group of Slavic warriors who called upon their gods to defend them. The Slavs are psyched to see the winged steed of Perun, the Slavic god of storms. They are less psyched to discover the animal has no rider. Thor looks past the red flags and discovers both another deceased god and Gorr the God Butcher. Despite putting up a good fight, the Asgardian can't overpower his twisted enemy. In a move of desperation, he summons thunder to separate them at the last second. What were you?
And if I recall correctly, that he yelled one word: thunder.
An injured Thor wakes up
differently,
after
but
resting
still.
for days and immediately goes after Gorr again. Unfortunately, the Asgardian doesn't like what he finds. Gorr puts Thor in chains and hurts the god for days.
How much longer do you think we'll be here?
Just when the god of thunder is about to crack, a group of warriors show up to give him some much-needed backup. Thor rallies and picks up his axe to end Gorr once and for all. Initially, the Asgardian believed he had slain the Butcher, but Thor made the exact same mistake that he would make in Infinity War.
You should have gone for the head.
They really going with that.
Unfortunately, Gorr survived their encounter and started scheming about how he would get his revenge on the Asgardian and all the other gods of the cosmos. His greatest gambit would become clear in the present day. While the Avenger-era Thor was visiting an alien planet to bestow rain and water on a ravaged people, he discovered their gods had been slain. The Asgardians
That's also
soon
from the
realizes
pages
that Gorr
of
is
the
behind it. Thor
God
follows
Butcher,
a trail
excuse
of
me.
tormented and deceased gods to try and find the Butcher. In the future, an old Thor vows to die a god's death on a decimated Asgard surrounded by Gorr's minions. But the cruel enemy refuses to let the Asgardian die.
He is anxious, angry. He feels tremendous loss and guilt.
To make matters worse, Gorr assassinates all the gods of time and becomes able to reach into different eras. The sadistic villain finds and torments the young Thor from the Viking era. Fortunately, the Avenger Thor chases the Butcher to the future. Eventually, 3 versions of the God of Thunder from across time unite to stop the Butcher's mad plan. They're intended to detonate the appropriately titled God Bomb, an anti-divinity weapon
which that leads
capable
to
of
the
killing
second
all
chapter.
gods who had ever or will ever exist across time. Despite the hero's best efforts, the deadly weapon goes off. Before every god can be erased from existence, Avenger-era Thor steps forward and voluntarily absorbs the force of the blast.
All fathers give me strength.
You understand, boy? You're about to take the full force of a star. It'll kill you.
The desperate and epic ploy works like a charm. And in the aftermath of this explosive conclusion, the young Thor corrects the mistake he made against his enemy the first time and finishes the Butcher off once and for all.
What did you do? I went for the head.
But that was just the end of one version of Gorr. Christian Bale will play the deadly and wrathful Gorr in Thor: Love and Thunder. The actor's resume proves he can play a menacing butcher who strikes fear into the hearts of his victims.
And for the record, I only see bits and pieces of the American Psycho.
Given the villain's reputation,
I just haven't
are
got a
you
chance,
as worried
or
as
maybe
we
you
are
could
about
say
those
that it's
smiling
the
Greek gods
stomach
seen
in
the trailer?
me.
Bale wouldn't have been able to become this heinous villain on screen without Gorr's first full appearance in Thor: God of Thunder #2.
I mean, I guess I'm a pretty sick guy.
Recently, the value of the comic has escalated to all new highs. In May 2022, it trended at an ungraded fair market value of $145 and as high as $700 graded. Artist Danielle Acuna also has a rare variant that trends at a fair market value of $320 ungraded and $2,000 graded. So, if you're a comic collector, you might want to get your hands on a back issue copy before Bale brings even more attention to Gorr.
God.
That subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my god. It even has a watermark.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. While the Butcher's origins are undoubtedly tragic, the unspeakable actions he committed with the All Black could never be forgotten. But we have to admit that Gorr's violence, hatred of deities, and incredible power make him a great enemy for Thor to overcome. It's exciting to think of where this relatively recent villain might pop up after appearing in Love and Thunder. If Gorr appears in your neck of the woods, just pray he doesn't believe you're a god.
We are not gods. We're born, we live, we die, just as humans do.
Give or take 5,000 years.
This list was made in collaboration with CoverPrice.com, the ultimate online resource for comic collectors. To track the value of Gorr's key comic book appearances or to find out what your collection is worth, visit CoverPrice.com. Click below for the link and visit them today. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
Whoa. I never knew that the first cover of the first issue would cost that much. I mean, that's a really that's a lot of money there. Even for a variant cover, damn. And I still have the first issue. So it's already sealed in a nice jacket. So it's in my closet. So maybe I needed to make sure it's still there. But that talk will be here for another time. But I hope this will give you the 411 because yeah, it makes sense of why Gorr would go this far because it's all about either that he believes in that. Well, not really, but it does make sense why he would go this far to kill all the deities and being convinced that gods don't exist and just stumble upon of what's left of the god of light and take the all black for himself and slay him and leave of a wasteland of a planet. And that's where the title comes in. And yeah, this is the one villain that instantly that hunts Thor. And even the present version, well, no, I'm sorry, I don't know why I say version, but the present Thor started to remember and it started to haunt him. And let's not forget that the one epic words that instantly that shake the fears in him, and that's what made him become unworthy. And old Nick Fury that happened in the original Sin, and those epic words that was Gorr was right, and that instantly that just brings nothing but shockwaves that just bring the fear. And he was no longer carry the Mjolnir, and which that was why that Jane Foster became the mighty Thor. But through the God Butcher to God Bomb, and it is just really that disturbing that he found a way crossing through different timelines from the past, the present, even the future, and you wonder why King Thor just wants to die honorably, but Gorr refused to let him die, and this is just pure torture. So, as I said, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I will give it an impression with it. But you got to give it credit to Christian Bale because this is the very first Marvel film other than which is we already know, which is Batman. So. Yeah, I seriously doubt that if there is any plans for making a return, but I heard that he's willing to wanted to give a one more shot with it if there would be some agreement between Christopher Nolan. So that would be interesting to see, but that still remains to be seen. Well, I believe that's going to be it for now, and hopefully that this will give you an idea exactly why Gorr is so pissed off at the gods and why he is convinced that gods do not exist and taken in the possession of the all black that was made and forged by Null, the Siberian god, and going through space and time and space and just hopping from being here at the past and all the way to the future. And that just shows you how sadistic and just crazy enough to pull off like that. Yeah. That's why I say that he is the greatest villain of all time in Thor's history, and definitely that lives up to the title. So if you guys enjoy that, and if you are excited for this movie, then hit the like button and also leave the comments down below, and I will catch y'all in the next video. So take care, guys, and be safe.